I have gotten so many requests to do a video specific to ear training. I feel like so many of you guys out there are struggling with it and you don't really know what to do. So this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to give you my 5 best ear training tips of all time. There's going to be lots of great ideas and solutions in it. Stick around. Let's do this. I'm Brenda Earl-Stokes. I'm the owner and creator of Piano and Voice with Brenda. I make creative and practical resources for singers, pianists, and music educators to help you elevate your skills and become a more versatile musician. So, ear training. Let's talk about ear training. Ear training, just like music theory, and I covered this in my music theory video last week. Ear training is another bugaboo. It's one of those things that, like, how do I work on this? Can you work on it? Do you have to be born with good ears, or how does this all work? And so in this video, I'm going to dispel a lot of myths about that and give you some real solutions. So first of all, the question would be, what even is ear training, right? We know it's a thing we're supposed to do, but like, what even is it? So what I would say is ear training is the ability, when you're training your ears or developing your ear training, what you're doing is you're developing your sense of understanding what you're hearing. And so that means a couple of different things. It means that you can hear a melody and you can, recognize what that is and either sing it back or be able to play it back on the piano or on whatever your instrument is. It's also being able to hear the difference in intervals. So if somebody plays an interval, that you can recognize that interval and either say, oh, that's a perfect fourth, or to be able to play it on your instrument or be able to sing it back. Ear training also consists of your ability to recognize chord qualities so that you can hear, oh, that's a major triad, oh, that's a minor triad, and then be able to play it on your instrument or sing it back. And it also indicates your ability just in general to be able to hear things and play them or hear them and write them down. And so this aural awareness is something that is profoundly valuable and is something that, again, I think a lot of people have absolutely no idea how you can work on it. So for my own self, my ears are obviously very good now. It would be very hard to stump me by playing something. I can pretty much play anything that I hear, but I was not always this way. I had taken lots of conservatory training, like coming up through the Royal Conservatory as a kid, taking piano lessons. And for us, ear training was part of the test. Like, it was a test that you did. So they would play intervals and you had to know what they were, but I had no idea how do you work on any of things. And so maybe you're the same thing of I know I need to get better at ear training, but what do I do? And so I'm going to give you a few tips right off the bat. So the first way to get started really working on your ear training is to do a very, very simple exercise. And that is you're going to sing a note, any note, doesn't matter, just a pitch, and you're going to try to find it on piano. Okay, now this might be easy for you. It might be hard, but just to give you a small example on how to do this, if I were to go, da, I found the note, and I had to look around for it a little bit, plunking on the piano. Da, not the same note, da, da. Do you see what I did? And so what you're going to get used to doing is singing different notes and finding them on the piano. Why is this important? Well, it's important so that this is ultimately how you're going to be able to figure out what key you're in, what chord quality it is. This is an important thing to do. Now, if you play guitar, obviously sing and try to find notes on guitar. But for most people, unless you're specifically a guitar player, I would try to do this on piano because the piano is very visual and is a great instrument to use kind of for all of your theory and musicianship needs. So that's the first thing that you're going to want to do is get used to doing that. The next thing that I would recommend that you do is start to practice singing little tunes and trying to play them on piano. So for simple things like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or Happy Birthday, give yourself, a key. So let's say you want to do it in the key of C. Da, 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 da. So you kind of put yourself in the key area just by playing the triad of that key. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Right? Okay. So Can be any simple song like that, but what you're going to want to do is get used to like being able to find melodies on the piano and start simply and then move on from there. And then what you can do is kind of an addendum to this is to say, okay, so I can play Happy Birthday in the key of C now, right? Now I'm going to play it in the key of D. Or so let's play a D triad. Da 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 da, and then you're gonna have to play the melody in that key. Oh, that's not right. Right? You see how I'm doing that? So practicing playing different simple melodies on the piano is another terrific way to build your ear training, because remember, what we're training our ears to hear is to contextualize, like be able to know what are those notes, what is going on. So that's going to be a really fantastic exercise for you to do. Now we're going to get into some rhythmic versions of this, because we've been looking for our first and second one are being able to find pitches, but we want to be able to find rhythms as well. And so what you're going to do is take a simple song, or this could again expand out to anything else that you're interested in learning, a guitar line or a bass line or something like that. But for now, starting with these simple tunes, and what you're going to do is just clap the rhythm of the melody. So let's do Happy Birthday again. It goes da, 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 da. So I'm just going to clap it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brenda. Happy birthday to you. Picking out simple melodies like that and practicing clapping the rhythms is another way to really develop your ear. And if you want to go further with it, you could tap your foot. You can't see my foot, so I'm going to just tap on my sternum here and clap the melody. 1, 2, da, 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 da. You see how I'm doing that? And so this is a way to help to build your sort of oral understanding of how the rhythm is constructed as well. Now that you've experimented finding notes on the piano, finding tunes on the piano, and clapping some rhythms, we're now going to go into the phase that you're going to spend probably the most time in. And that is, if you want to develop your ear training, you have to sing all the time. Sing, sing, sing. Now, you might be saying, but I'm not a great singer. Nobody wants to hear me sing. That is fine. You do not have to be an opera level, amazing professional singer in order for this to be a meaningful encounter. If you really have no singing experience, then I suggest you check out this video. It's a 15-minute vocal warm-up that will help you to get your voice going. If you want to make sure that's there, I'll leave a link to the description box below to that video if you want to improve it. But basically what we need to be doing is phonating, or making sound on pitch, for you to be able to develop your ear, because it's one thing to sit and listen to it, but it's another thing to sing. And so here are a couple of examples of things that you can do. You can practice singing just chords. So I'm going to play a C chord, and you're going to go do, 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 just like that. And then maybe I'll play an A flat chord. Do, 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 just like that. Let me play a D minor 7 chord. Do, 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 do. And maybe you help yourself the way that I was doing by outlining it, or maybe you play it and then sing it. Do, 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 do. Right, any chord you like. Now, you could practice this just with your major triads or your minor triads at first, just to get used to it. But you could ultimately expand this out so that you're practicing singing first inversion triads, second inversion triads in major or minor. That's another fantastic way for you to start to get inside the harmony. Another thing that you can do is to practice singing bass lines. So if you're listening to With or Without You by U2, for example, then what you could do is get used to singing the bass notes or the harmony. So it goes D to A to B to G, right? D, A, B, G. Practice singing bass lines. And then from here, I give you solid and strong permission to start listening to your favorite recordings. Remember to stay inside the kind of music that you primarily sing. So if you are a rock musician or you're doing primarily that kind of music, put some, a playlist together of some songs that you really love and start to sing everything that you hear. Now, most of us spend a lot of time just singing the melody, and that is fine, but you got to start thinking about beyond the melody. So this is the perfect time for you to start singing backup harmonies. So if you're listening to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, start to sing like one of the secondary parts, one of the harmony parts, or put on a Simon and Garfunkel record and be Garfunkel or Simon, whoever's singing the harmony in it. This can also extend out for you to start to sing guitar parts or horn parts. Like imagine dee 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 dee. Dee 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 from You Can Call Me Al from Graceland, the Paul Simon record. Start to sing bass lines. Start to sing guitar parts. Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba. Right? All of these things that you do, singing them means you're tuning your ear to them. And once you can sing them, then we can go back down to those first 2 steps that we did in my list of tips, and you can sit down and start to figure them out. So once you've gotten used to plucking melodies out on the piano and you start to sing these other parts and you're becoming more aware of what different instruments in the band are doing, then all you have to do is that turns into your melody that you go and then find the tune on the piano. So this is like a long-term fun project to do. Finally, step 5. In step 5, we're going to take a deeper look into how music is structured. And so the first 4 tips today are relatively easy that you can just kind of sit and work your way through. Step 5 is where we would take a flying leap into solfege. So if you're not familiar with solfege is when you sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And solfege is an incredible tool because what it does is it helps to develop your deeper understanding of how the scales are put together. And I have another video here that I'll link if you want to dive deeper into solfege. I'll leave a couple of instructional links in the description box below. But solfege is really the secret weapon that I have found to help people really get over the top. And so this would involve singing, your scales up and down and singing certain patterns so that you can develop a better spatial oral awareness of how the scales work. And even though you may think of this as something that little kids learn in choir or something for classical singers, it's something that I have been using for many, many, many years with my private students, singer-songwriters, pop singers, R&B singers, you name it. And for everybody, they're like, I don't understand why this is working, but wow, is it ever working? If you want to dive deeper into solfege or it's something you've been meaning to do, I have an awesome course called Crash Course in Solfege, which is part of my membership, The Versatile Musician. If you want to dive into it, I'm going to leave you a link in the description box below where you can check it out. Again, like sort of a quick process to move through, but one that will really profoundly impact your ears. As I hope I've shown you in this video, ear training is something that is very much you can learn, you can develop it, and using these 5 tips. Remember, the first thing we did is just find notes on the piano. The second thing is you started to find tunes on the piano by singing them and trying to find the notes on piano. Step 3 was you start to clap rhythms that you are familiar with so that you can start to develop that understanding of the rhythm. Step 4 is we start to do some singing. And so you're singing chords, you're singing patterns, you're singing all kinds of different things, recordings, you're singing along all the time. And then step 5, you're diving deeper into scales by using solfege. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like the video, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment below and let me know what was the biggest takeaway from this video. I'm always super curious to see what is the thing that is really flipping the light switch on for people. If you want to dive deeper into my work, check out my website, pianoandvoicewithbrenda.com. I have a ton of terrific resources there that will help you to build your musicianship, your piano skills, and more. And better yet, I would love for you to come and have a look at the Versatile Musician, my all-inclusive membership that consists of 15 full courses, over 700 unique tutorials, and it's a fantastic way for you to stop kind of cobbling together random resources and find one single home for all of your music learning. Not only do you get all that access to all of that incredible content, but we also do a live Zoom call with me every month, and I'm also available by email to answer questions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Happy practicing.